Good evening and welcome to Let's Talk Business. We truly appreciate you tuning in. We have a great show tonight, another great guest, but as always, let's begin with resources. Resources are essential to the success of a small business owner. Of course, with one caveat, the owners must know where it's coming from or know what it is and actually use it. So there are several resources available such as SBA, Small Business Authority. They help with coaching and helping small businesses, but also with SBA loans. We had them in the show not too long ago. SCORE is another one, a nonprofit organization made up of volunteers/counselors that help coach small business owners. SBDC, they help aspiring and existing entrepreneurs by providing resources and training. Then there's Veterans Business Outreach Centers. They provide resources and training to veterans aspiring to be entrepreneurs. Women's Business Centers. They have nearly 100 educational centers. Same concept as the veterans, but centered more for women business owners. And then you have PTAC or Procurement and Technical Assistance Centers. They provide in-person counseling and classes to help business owners learn how to get contracts from government agencies. Then you have United States Export Assistance Centers. They help small and mid-sized businesses compete in today's global marketplace. Lastly, you have CDC, Certified Development Centers. They help basically with lending. They work with SBA. Now, there are many more, but for tonight's show, we will talk about or center about the Chamber of Commerce. So what's a Chamber of Commerce? It is an association or network of business people designed to promote and protect the interests of its members. A Chamber of Commerce is often made up of a group of business owners that share local of interest but can also be in international scope. Chambers provide a variety of benefits to their members, such as resources, discounts, relationships that help businesses save money and market their products, referrals, and many more. Let's talk about those real quick. Let's at least give an example. So resources, for example, they can offer classes or they can offer help or kind of a course on how to open your business, how to market your business. Maybe talk about how to do your search engine or your website, how to be good with search engine optimization, right? Discounts. Normally, when you're a member, you offer discounts to other members. So if you're business to business, you can do like 10%, 20% when you're dealing with each other. Relationship is big. You know, once you're part of a chamber, you start building relationships. And those are, you know, of course, you are in a relationship with like-minded business owners that probably share the same passion as you. So there's a lot of things that you guys can accomplish together. Those things help businesses save money. And then, of course, it gives them a platform where they can talk about the products or services that they do. And with that, referrals will come. Some chambers also tackle issues that are specific to its members, such as minority chambers. That's the whole point of having different chambers, because each community, Asian, Latino, urban, they have different sets of challenges. And the chambers kind of tackle those different challenges according to their community. I do think that the biggest benefit of a chamber is really advocacy. Being the voice for the members of its chamber. I cannot tell you how important representation is for the issues that affect small business owners. Think about this. Sometimes we have legislators that have never owned a business or don't know a lot about businesses. They're great people, great community people, but there's not, or sometimes they don't know the culture of a particular community. They will rely on these chambers of business to explain to them the importance of certain issues that affect a business. That's why representation is so big, advocacy. I can go on and on the values of joining a chamber. As you all know, I used to be a president of one, but instead, let's hear it from somebody who is the president of a chamber right now. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to chat with our guest. Let's take a quick break.
This is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio. PHLV Radio.
Welcome back. So let's meet our guest for tonight. She is the president of the newly formed Nevada AAPI, Asian American Pacific Islander Chamber of Commerce. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Catherine Francisco. Good evening, Catherine. How are you?
Good evening, Sonny. Thank you so much for having me here today. I'm glad to be here.
Of course, my pleasure. Thank you for coming in. So first, let's talk about the NVAAPI Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
Tell me, how do you help small businesses here in Nevada grow and prosper?
Well, Nevada AAPI Chamber of Commerce is really the only statewide chamber, Asian chamber in Nevada. We wanted a more inclusive chamber for the entire state and just not Southern Nevada. We need to be more represented and the voice that is lacking in the Asian community. You know, Sonny, we are going to be a one-stop shop. Be that resource center that will address all of the business owners' concerns and issues in one place. Whether you are an existing small business or an individual looking for assistance in starting a business or require any training in marketing, workforce, social media, and how to grow your business, Nevada AAPI Chamber of Commerce will be the resource for everyone. We will assist in business advocacy to make sure our community is represented and is always invited during the first conversation and not the afterthought, Sonny. Translation services is an important support for our community as well.
Very good. Now, the AAPI community has several chambers. As of course we know, the AAPI community is so diverse. I mean, there's 48 countries, not even to mention the islands that are part of AAPI.
Yes.
What sets your chamber apart?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, we are the only statewide Asian chamber in Nevada. We are inclusive, and all 48 countries are invited and are welcome in our chamber. You can see this from the composition of our board once you see it up and loaded on our website. We want to hear from everyone, Sonny. We are not here to compete with the other chambers, but really to collaborate with everyone. We want to show support because we feel that one voice is far more powerful than little voices out there.
Oh, that's definitely true. Now, I do know, because I went to your launch, that the Southern Nevada Philippine Chamber of Commerce and the Vietnamese Chamber of Commerce were there. So
Yes.
I'm going to assume that they're going to be part of your chamber as well. They're going to be members, or...
Yes, they will be.
they'll
We
work
have
with you?
started the conversation, and we all have the same concerns, but different representation. But we all feel that collaboration is really the key for our community.
Very good. I like that. Now, you mentioned advocacy earlier, and I did mention that on my monologue as well. Can you please tell our audience, in your view, why advocacy is so important to a small business owner?
Sure. As a business owner, you will not be alone with Nevada AAPI Chamber of Commerce, Sonny. You need an organization that's really on your side, who listens and understands what you're going through and understands your concerns, what your point of view is, someone who can translate what you want to express. An organization that is not shy in taking this up to Carson City and fighting for your rights. You know, we don't want you to feel just this little one individual business owner out there in an island all to yourself. And that's what Nevada AAPI Chamber of Commerce is. That is what we are here for, to help represent you as the small business owner. We will make sure that the Asian community is represented and is invited to the table and will never be an afterthought. That's a very key. You know, for many years, we've always been the afterthought, or maybe not the thought at all. So we want to make sure that we're invited to the table right off the bat. It's also important to have an organization that understands the culture. We're talking about 48 countries, different dialects, different languages, different religious beliefs. So we want to make sure the organization understands that culture and is represented through diversity, inclusion, DEI. That is the key nowadays.
Yeah, I think people always forget how important that is, especially when you look at the composition of a lot of our state agencies. There's not a lot of Asians in there.
Exactly.
So it's important for an organization such as this to be able to speak to that.
Exactly. We need to be represented in all aspects, whether it's education, healthcare, government. There's got to be a representation for the Asian community.
I agree. Mm-hmm. Now, over the years, the way you run a business has completely changed, especially with the emergence of e-commerce, social media. Okay. What are some classes or subjects you can see that can be beneficial for a matured business owner?
Yes, technology is ever changing, as we know. I believe the algorithms are changed multiple times in one day. And when you think you have mastered it, it changes on you right away, right? So you're kind of still feeling like you're behind. So we will offer all classes really pertaining to marketing. Okay. And that will include web. It will include social media. Often you encounter a new business owner that spent all their budget into making their brick and mortar place so pretty and nice. And the afterthought, or what they have forgotten, was that marketing budget. So everything looks very pretty, but how do you get the customers in?
Sure.
Right? So we want to make sure that we teach from A to Z, but not only teaching from A to Z one time, but to have a collective series of education for them, so they don't feel like they're being left behind. As we mentioned, algorithms are always changed all the time. We have connections with professionals in the industry also as well that we can invite to come in and teach the classes and share some of their expertise to some of our small business owners. So, and all these classes we'd like to offer to everybody out there in the community.
Very good.
Yeah.
So, a little challenging times at the moment with the way things are.
Yes.
Can you give me some of the challenges that our small business owners are experiencing right now?
God, there's so many to list, to be honest with you, Sonny. I mean, first of all, we all see the workforce challenge, right?
Definitely.
The lack of workforce, and even then, the lack of talented workforce, and to keep them in their positions. Lack of resources also as well. Where do we find our resources to help grow our businesses? Are there any resources? Can we go to one place and grab all those resources at one time, or do we need to be driving around everywhere trying to locate for these resources? Funding is another one. How do we get funded so that we can help grow our current business? Or how do we get funding if we are a new business or we want to start a new business? And that's, really the access to capital. Not too many people know that there are many opportunities out there for them. So those really are just a majority of what we see that's on the surface, but there are really so much more.
Well, let's do this. How about challenges that are very specific, since you're an AAPI chamber, to the AAPI community?
So recently, back during COVID times, PPE was offered, and a lot of small businesses took avail of it. But honestly, small businesses within the Asian community did not. For one reason, they didn't understand that they qualified for it. They didn't understand that this offering was also available to them. And even if some of them did understand that they can apply for this, they didn't know the whole process.
Yep.
Also as well, there were so many obstacles that they had to go through. It was better off not just to touch it anymore. But these were funding that was available to them. So that was very challenging to say, hey, this is free money that you can have to help you with your business.
Sure.
Yeah,
sure.
So that was a big challenge for our community.
Yeah. No, frankly, I agree with you. I was in the middle of that pretty much when that was happening because that's my time when I was still a banker.
Yes.
And I experienced it firsthand. That a lot of Asian businesses were not applying for it. Yeah.
Yes.
So I know I've listed a bunch of different things why joining a chamber is so valuable, right? But there are certain services that a small business would like to have that's beneficial for them and for their employees, but getting it on their own can be very costly. You know, we're talking about financial or maybe even medical providers. How can your chamber, such as yours, help with this kind of issue?
Yes, I was in this situation in the past because my husband is also a small business owner.
Very good.
And offering benefits to employees was such a big challenge because we were not large enough to be able to do that. But how do we do that with talented and loyal employees? Of course, we want to retain them and keep them working with our company. With Nevada AAPI Chamber of Commerce, we have planned out a very professional, well thought out support for small businesses. We have a medical plan, medical health plan. We've got 401k plans. We even went further to create business support related benefits for employees, such as short-term and long-term disability. Normal things that big corporations offer their employees, but not necessarily is offered to employees who are owned, whose companies are owned by small business owners. We want them to also be competitive in the market, whether they're small, medium, and retain the talent that they need. So definitely our chamber has a great package offering all of those for all of our members.
No, that's great. I mean, I've seen it happen. I have a good friend of mine who owns a restaurant. And one day I visited her and we were just talking. She said, Sonny, I lost a lot of my employees to a brand new hotel that opened in the Strip.
Yes, yeah.
I could not compete with, I mean, I could probably compete with their per hour, but I could not compete with their benefits package. So it's really huge to be able to offer that as a small business owner.
Yes, we fully understand that because I come from the corporate world. And if you look at the trends, everyone is looking not only at the salary package, but they're looking at the long-term benefit package. So how do you compete with that corporation if you as a small business is not offering it yourself? So being a member with our chamber, you are now going to be able to offer that.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right. So how do I become a member?
Yes.
How can our audience contact you if they're interested in joining?
Well, we do have a website that I'm going to direct everyone to, and you'll get to know our talented leadership team, the additional services that we offer. So the website is AAPINevada.com. And then feel free to call us. Our phone number is 702-583-5717. We call everybody back. So definitely, not only if you're a member, you want to become a member, but also, we are open to sponsorships. We are open to partnerships also as well. Or perhaps you need our help. We're here for you also as well.
Well, I want to make sure when you guys have events or upcoming stuff, let me know so I can announce it, definitely.
That would be wonderful because we've got an aggressive event lined up for the next 8 months, Sonny. So we'll definitely be contacting you.
Awesome. Okay, any parting words?
Well, thank you so much, PHLV, Sonny, Johan, for letting me be here as a guest also as well. I really enjoyed my time here. Thank you for allowing us to talk about Chamber, AAPI Nevada Chamber. And then also thank you for giving us the opportunity to let the community know of some concerns that is currently happening with small business. As parting ways, we created this chamber to be inclusive. Everyone is welcome, and please don't hesitate should you need our assistance. That's what we are here for. We have a talented group of leaderships that have backgrounds from fundraising to nonprofits to finance to small business. We try to cover it all, so if it's one area that specifically needs concentration, we've got the expertise in that. So we're looking forward to working with the community, and we're looking forward to supporting the community.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate that. That is our show for tonight. Thank you again for tuning in to Let's Talk Business. Until next week, take care.